Hey, Washington Commanders fan. The front office is going to have to make immediate changes. I know we're all tired of so much bad news and seeing our team in such a delicate situation, but what I'm about to tell you now is about an incomprehensible decision that our coaching staff is making, and it seems to get worse every week. Let's talk about a young talent who is being sidelined, even with our team in shambles, and what this means for the future of the franchise. Stick around until the end, because this story might leave you even more frustrated and with many questions about the management of our roster. And, of course, don't forget to leave a like. It's just a click, it's quick, and it's all I ask. Coach Dan Quinn highlighted his desire to involve the younger players more, and that makes perfect sense at a time like this. The Washington Commanders aren't going anywhere anytime soon this season. That's a fact we need to accept. So this is the best opportunity to start planning for the future before another crucial offseason for the franchise in 2026. This mentality has become more evident over the last 2 weeks, with some rookies getting more playing time. It hasn't helped the Commanders gain better momentum, but this all-or-nothing scenario will, at the very least, contribute to the ongoing evaluations of the team, helping us see who really deserves to stay. However, what has me pulling my hair out is that a promising young player remains inexplicably on the sidelines without the chance to show his worth. I'm talking about rookie Kane Madano, selected in the 6th round of the draft, who didn't show up in Week 10 against the Detroit Lions. He was once again left off the list of healthy players, which is simply unbelievable and hard to swallow as a fan. Considering the struggles faced by our linebackers and safeties this season, with the defense giving up yards and points left and right, the fact that he isn't getting the chance to shine speaks volumes about the coaching staff's reluctance to give opportunities to the younger guys. As a fan, I can't understand why a player with potential, even if raw, is not being tested in a season that's already lost. Madano was the last pick for Washington in the 2025 NFL Draft, which already shows that the front office saw something in him. Most fans thought General Manager Adam Peters would choose a developing defensive lineman, but the athlete from UCLA was irresistible to the front office, which opted for him. He made the 53-man roster, as expected, already showing that the team sees something in him. But it's clear that he has a lot of work ahead to improve his technique and his chances of being used on the main squad, and that's where we ask, how is he supposed to improve if he doesn't play? His athleticism is absolutely off the charts. Madano's numbers at the NFL Scouting Combine were sensational, but to say he still needs to refine his technique would be an understatement. There's also the question of where he would fit best. Would he be a linebacker playing off the line of scrimmage, or would his skills be more useful in the secondary? This situation with Madano reminds me a lot of the Commanders' decision to select Dominique Hampton in the 2024 draft. He spent an entire season as a backup without many opportunities and was waived before his second season, which was a great disappointment and a clear mistake by the front office. It seems that Madano is following a similar trajectory, and that is something that concerns me greatly as a fan because we don't want to see another talent wasted. We hope that Madano becomes an important player over time, but if not, Peters has already shown a willingness to quickly part ways with his draft picks if they do not meet the required standards. It remains to be seen whether Madano fits that category. Even so, the fact that he's not being involved in any way in this vulnerable defense can only be seen as concerning and a waste of talent. At some point, the training wheels need to be taken off for a player to truly develop and show what they are capable of in the NFL. They have not been taken off for Kane Madano, which is a damning indictment of his early progress and the way the team is handling its young talents. How can the coaching staff evaluate a player's potential if he doesn't have the chance to compete in a real game environment, especially when the season is already lost and there's nothing left to lose? It's frustrating to see that instead of testing these youngsters and seeing who can be part of the future, we are insisting on a roster that has already proven to be insufficient. The season is already lost, and we know that. But what we cannot lose is the opportunity to develop our young players and plan for the future of the franchise. The front office and coaching staff need to be more proactive in giving chances to these talents, even if they make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow in the NFL, and that's how you build a winning team in the long run. Adam Peters has the responsibility to construct a winning roster, and that includes giving fair opportunities to his draft picks, especially when the team is in a rebuilding phase. As a fan, I demand that the team start thinking about tomorrow, and that means putting Kane Madano and other young players on the field to see what they are capable of. This decision to keep Kane Madano on the bench while our defense suffers and the season slips away leaves me with many doubts about our team's strategy. It's a waste of a valuable opportunity to evaluate a talent that could be important for the future, and a sign that the coaching staff may be losing focus on what really matters right now, the development of our youth. Now, brace yourself, because what I'm about to tell you is about the size of the hole our team has gotten into, and the statistics that prove how far we've fallen in popularity and performance this season. I know we started 2025 with our chests puffed out, but the reality is a punch to the gut, and the numbers don't lie. The Washington Commanders entered the 2025 NFL season with high expectations, and we, the fans, were filled with hope. After all, the team seemed rejuvenated in the 2024 campaign, finishing second in the NFC East standings with a respectable record of 12-5. These were the most wins for Washington in a season since 1991, when we reached 14-2, the same season we won the Super Bowl. It was a sign that we were on the right path, and we dared to dream big again. However, the idea of winning the Vince Lombardi Trophy seems more remote than ever at this moment for Washington. The team has fallen to a dismal record of 3-7 after suffering a 44-22 defeat at home to the Detroit Lions last Sunday. It's a brutal drop in performance that leaves us speechless and with heavy hearts. As a fan, it's hard to accept that after so much optimism, we are living such a huge nightmare. This is also the 5th consecutive loss for the Commanders, and what is even more embarrassing is that we have lost all of our last 4 games by a combined margin of 111 points. It's a humiliation we haven't seen in a long time. Furthermore, Washington lost by at least 3 possessions in 4 consecutive games. The last time this happened to the franchise was in 1954, according to Tashin Reed of the Washington Post. This statistic is brutal and shows how far we have fallen. The Commanders found themselves in a tough situation early in the game against Detroit. The Lions quickly took a 14-3 lead by the end of the first quarter and didn't look back from there. It was a disastrous start that undermined any chance of a comeback from our team. The Commanders' defense simply couldn't contain the powerful offense of the visiting team, which seemed to do whatever it wanted on the field. Detroit outperformed Washington in all 4 quarters, showing overwhelming superiority. The Lions quarterback, Jared Goff, had a stellar performance, completing 25 of 33 passes for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns, with no interceptions and no sacks taken. To make matters worse, Detroit's running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, racked up 142 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on just 15 carries. In total, the Lions amassed 546 yards and converted 7 of their 3rd and 4th down attempts, showing a frightening efficiency. As for Washington's offense, Marcus Mariota, acting as the interim quarterback in the absence of the injured Jaden Daniels, had a performance that, in numbers, wasn't the worst. He threw for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns, with no interceptions, completing 16 of 22 passes. But despite not committing any turnovers, the offense as a whole couldn't produce enough to compete with the Lions. This proves that individual numbers don't always tell the full story. The inefficiency of our offense was glaring. We converted only 2 of 10 third downs and only achieved 9 first downs, compared to 19 for Goff and the Lions. Washington's ground game also showed little activity, tallying just 93 yards and 1 touchdown on 27 rushing attempts. It's an offense without rhythm, creativity, and the ability to sustain drives, which puts unbearable pressure on our already tattered defense. With this record of 3 wins and 7 losses, Washington is well out of contention for the playoffs in Week 10 of the 2025 season. We know the chances are minimal, but the team still has a chance to turn things around and maybe make the NFC postseason race a bit more interesting, if only to save some dignity. It's a glimmer of hope that we cling to as fans. The Commanders will try to end their 5-game losing streak in Week 11 when they face the Miami Dolphins at the Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid, Spain, before having a bye in Week 12. It will be an international stage for the team to try to show some fight and, who knows, surprise the football world. But after everything we've seen, we wonder, does the team have the ability to turn the game around and deliver a worthy performance? Or will the trip to Spain be just another chapter in a season to forget? Now I want to know your honest and unfiltered opinion about these brutal statistics. Which of these numbers shocked you the most and made you lose hope for the season? And more importantly, do you believe the team has the ability to bounce back and show some dignity for the remainder of the season? Or should we just be thinking about the next draft and a total rebuild of the franchise?